Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian from Ridgeback Productions, and I help beginning voiceover talents grow their business and generate income. I got a hot one for you today. I got a quick one, but it's a good one. A quick, good one? Yeah, let's get into it. All right, so this literally just happened to me, and I wanted to share it with you all because it's a really good tip, and I learned from it. It was a good learning experience. So this happened on Fiverr, and so this is going to be for all of you that are working on Fiverr that, you get an order, and I thought there was a way to do things. You learn. I'm always learning. So, and I always say Fiverr's like fishing. Sometimes it's a waiting game, but when it's hot, it's hot. And right now, Fiverr for me is hot. I'm getting a lot, but I just went through a really dry patch with it. So, it's hit and miss. But constantly learning because Fiverr is a unique one. Fiverr, well, you're not working directly with the client. You're working through Fiverr, who kind of mediates the order, and they kind of hold all the cards, so to speak. Like when there's a mistake, Fiverr can penalize you for it if you don't handle it correctly. And it's just a unique action, as freelance. Trust me, I'm getting to the good part, trust me. But as freelance artists, we really have control over who we want to work with and how we work and the hours we work and all that stuff for the most part. Like if you have a client that's ready, you should be ready too if you want to keep them and make them happy and deliver quickly, all the good stuff. So you are working on their timeline, but for the most part, you get to pick who you want to work with. However, when you work with Fiverr, things can go bad, and things just went bad for me. Things can go bad, and you're not just losing a client, you're penalized on the platform. I have no doubt. My success member just a minute ago, I was talking about how things have been like super awesome on Fiverr for me, and like, for fishing, just pound town. I'm just like bendo with the rods. I'm catching so much. This isn't going to last, I'm telling you, because I just made a whoopsie, and my fault for handling it incorrectly. And I want to help you out so you can also not make the mistake that I just made. Although I didn't really make a mistake. Full disclosure, I didn't make a mistake. I did the right thing. And you will too. You'll want to do the right thing. And there's a point in Fiverr. Well, there's a point in all business, but there's a point in Fiverr specifically where I remember it. It felt fantastic. There's a point in, whoa, things are blowing up around me. There's a point in Fiverr where you don't have to accept everything. There's a comfort in saying no. And boy, does it feel good to be able to say no. Let me give you an example. And it's going to lead into what happened. Okay, so client contacts you and says, I'd love to hire you. I'll use my friend Robert's name. Okay, so Robert, I'm going to hire you, man. I gotta, love your work. Your demo's killer. Here's a script, and my budget is $50. So $50, and then, but I give you, Robert, this very long script, and you're like, awesome, definitely want to work with you, Brian, but the script is too long. And I'm like, well, this is it. This is all I got. There's a comfort in being able to say no. And in the beginning, you take everything. I took everything. I was like, shoot, I'll bend over backwards. It's more important for me to not make a lot of money, but actually get the order and get the reviews. And I'm now at that point where I don't give a It's nice. It feels great. And if you're not there, you will get there too. But I don't care. I got a horrible review. I know I'm getting to it. I know you're like, Brian, seriously, with the carrot you're dangling.
Just get to it, would you?
But I did. I got a horrible review. But there's a comfort in not caring anymore because it's not all your business. And when all your business isn't only Fiverr, you have business off platform, you have business on other you have multiple streams coming at you or ways of getting at it and marketing, you're good. Okay. So, all right, let me tell you the story and then we'll back up to that. So here's what happened. A client ordered with me and it was a good order. It was a freaking substantial order. Thank you, client, although you're never going to come back to me, but thank you. It was a great order and he was happy and he asked for a revision and I quickly gave him a revision. And I have my own policy, my own business practices is I'm quick enough that I don't mind giving multiple takes, especially when they're short, right? If I'm going to do a documentary, a long form narration, you get one take. Or if there's like key parts, I'll give you multiple takes. But if it's short and you determine what you feel is short enough, but when I feel it's short enough, that's my own thing. When I feel it's short enough, I'll give multiple takes. I'll give 2, 3 takes because I want the client to know I went over the top to help them out. And I want them to have options to select from. You know, when you're in the mode, when it's go time on an order, I get in a zone. And if I'm in that zone, I stay in the zone and I'll produce 2 or 3 for the client. And that's helpful. They like it because they feel like I'm giving them more than they ordered, which I am. But it's helping me because it cuts back on my revisions too. Like I have hardly any revisions because I don't make the errors and I'm giving them options to select from and they can piece it together however they want. So that's helpful. Any revisions I ever do, which I did have to do a revision for this gentleman, was not an error that I made. It was an error that he made, the client made in the script and didn't realize that it had a line in it that shouldn't have been there. It was for an alternate location and he needed me to say the correct location. No problem. It's a free revision. I don't mind. Quick fix, right back to him. He was happy. Multiple deliverables, so multiple options to select from, the free revision, fast communication. I delivered way faster than he wanted. Every order he's ordered from me, he was like, gives me a raving review. Super cool. Okay, ready? So then here's what happens. Messages me last night and says, Brian, hey, I got this script. You ready to get going again? Yeah, cool. Let me have a look at it. So I look at the script and way long, way longer than he normally orders. And so I'm like, all right, cool. This is, 883 words. This is going to cost you, I'm going to, in fairness, X amount. So his reply was LOL, which to me is fucking irritating. I hate when clients say LOL to me. It's like, there's no reason to laugh at a response. Anyways, whatever. I kept it professional. So he put LOL. Then the second line was, are you kidding? And then the third line was, okay, so there's another, so red flags going up everywhere. If a client sends messages in multiple lines of thread back to back to back, not just like sent, 5 minutes later sent, like I'm talking about sent, 10 seconds later sent, and I'm sure you know people that do this in texting too, that's a red flag for you. Their mind is not clear on their thoughts and they're making irrational decisions. When someone is sending and then sending and sending, they can't keep their thoughts together enough to put in one coherent thing. That's someone that's, I'm not going to be judgy. It's a different generation. It's a different way of thinking. I'm just going to put it that way. That's a red flag. This is not, you're getting a lot of good hints in this video, but that's a red flag. When someone's doing that to you, you should take a step back and realize what they're going through. They're not thinking clearly enough to put it all out. They're putting it in separate lines because they're just blah, blah, vomiting out their thoughts and they're not thinking about what they're saying. And that's a flag. Okay. Anyway, so that's what he's doing. Not saying terribly insulting things, but he's being rude. And so my reply was, no problem. I understand. However, this has been my rate since the beginning when you started working with me. And then he put, good luck with that, LOL. And so then I just replied, best of luck to you, thumbs up. And then I blocked him. I was professional, 100% professional the entire way. Here's the mistake I made. And this is the whole lesson of this video. Here's the lesson. Make sure when a client contacts you about a new order, if you still have a current order going with them, make sure that gets closed out before they place the next order. Okay? Or before you discuss anything. Because here's the mistake I made. I learned from it. 7 years, 8 years in business doing this. And this is the first time I'm realizing this. So I want to teach it to you, learn it early. That's the mistake I made. I had an open order with him. It was already delivered. He hadn't completed it yet. Okay. So in Fiverr, when a buyer receives an order, they can select that it's received and it's done. Or sometimes they just let it time out. And this specific client I was working with, he always lets it time out. It's not a big deal. Fiverr gives it like 3 days, 5 days, I don't remember. And then it automatically completes. No problem. He always ends up leaving me a review. It's not a big deal. Sometimes there's a middleman where the client is ordering, but they have a client on their end. So when you deliver, they have to receive it, and then they have to review it, and then they have to give it to the client, and then they got to wait for their client to get back to them. In that process, it takes a long time for them to get an answer back, and oftentimes they just don't have the time or they forget to complete the order. My client that I was working with didn't close it out. I neglected to remember that he hadn't closed it out. And what I should have done, because when I woke up this morning, there was a review on that order and it was horrible. He gave me all 1 stars, said Brian is very rude and overpriced. I don't know what to say. I'm not. I'm very polite and I very much lead by example when I say that. I'm very polite and I keep it very professional. And overpriced is an opinion. Don't hire me if I'm overpriced. So that's not a big deal. So I replied to him very nicely, because you can do that. And that's another thing. If you ever leave a reply on someone's review, which you can do, it's public, be polite, be professional, and always take the high road. Always take the high road. Because clients read those, potential clients will read those reviews. And when they see you bash the person that just left you a horrible review, it's just not professional. It's not a good look. So I took the high road. I did explain my side because I wanted to be fair. I did explain that it was a cordial conversation, that he's always been happy with all the other, but I said it like it was to him, client, sorry you weren't happy with this. I know that all our previous orders, you've been more than satisfied and left glowing reviews. I feel this may be as a result of you being unhappy with our last conversation where you asked for work and didn't approve of my price. And you were rude, so I blocked you. I did put that. So lesson learned. Okay, so to summarize it, what is it? What I should have done was when he contacted me, what I should have said was, thank you so much for contacting me. I would love to work with you again. Let's go ahead and close out our current order before we discuss any future work. And even if they reply, they're like, yeah, just have a look at the script. I would look at the script, and in the same situation, I would have noticed how it was almost 4 or 5 times as many words. And I think he was hoping he was going to have to pay me the same amount that he normally does for like his short little 100 to 150 scripts. And this was not. This is 800 something script. What I should have saw that. And then I should have been like, awesome. Script looks good. Looking forward to starting on this. Let's go ahead and close. I should have had him close out that order, because him being unhappy with a conversation unrelated to the order, he took it out on me on his review. And when you get a review, you as the seller have first opportunity to leave a review. And you never know what they said. Had I known, would I have left him a review? Of course. But I didn't know, and so I just put something very professional. I just said, thank you for the work. And I gave him all 5 stars, whatever. It doesn't matter. He didn't give me that. He gave me all 1 stars and a horrible review, but that's okay. Lesson learned, I should have had the order. So the whole thing, close out a current order with a client before you discuss new orders. You can discuss it, but don't finalize any details, because you risk, just like what happened to me, you risk the chance that they're going to be unhappy and take it out on you in the review. And on Fiverr, it means everything, right? That's how we started this video, because Fiverr kind of rules the roost as far as that goes. In any situation with my off-platform clients, it wouldn't have mattered. I've already delivered, I've already everything, like it's fine. But in the situation of Fiverr, where a review is huge amount of currency for you, whatever, it hurts you. But just like I started in the video, I don't care. I care enough because I want to tell you, but I don't care enough that it's going to kill me on Fiverr. It's not. And if it does, I'm going to be just fine. A lot of my workload is not on Fiverr anymore. It's just a small piece of my business. So if Fiverr decides to penalize me on one simple order, even though I've been producing a lot and getting all like raving reviews, then that's Fiverr being Fiverr, and that's what Fiverr does sometimes. So whatever, I'm okay. But there's a comfort in being able to say no to a client. It feels good. If you've ever been in that situation, let me know in the comments below. Let's chat about it, because it does feel good. It feels good to be able to say no to a client when you know you're not going to want to do the work, that you don't have to do the work, whether it's too much work and they're paying too little. Maybe it's on a topic that you're not comfortable doing, but you're going to do it because you want the work. There's a comfort in saying, thank you. I appreciate you considering me, but at this time I'm too busy. At this time, whatever, or look forward to working together when your budget increases. There's a number of polite ways of saying that, but it feels good. So bottom line, close out a current order with a client before you discuss new opportunities with them, because you run the risk of upsetting them and them taking it out on you, which has just happened to me. So awesome. Hey, I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope your business is thriving. If you need some help, reach out to me. All the information is in the description below. You can email me. You can email me. You can go to my website, all that stuff. I'm working with clients all the time and doing lots of consultations, and it's fun. I love doing it. I love, love, love working with new talent. So if you're a new talent, I'm your guy. If you've been in the industry a while and you just want to chat, let's do it. I don't know how much I can offer you for coaching, but I am a wealth of knowledge. Anyways, have a great day. We'll talk soon. See ya.